My name's Amber, and I did a bread and blankets course in Auckland City last night with my friend Brandon, and I just figured I could tell you about my experience. So I had been organising this for about a month and a half, and everyone had this hype. Yeah, I'm coming with, but when it came down to it, I was sitting at the bus stop by myself with all these loaves of bread, all these blankets, and posting all over Facebook, who's coming, messaging people who said they were coming, and no one replied to me. So I was really hurt, as you would be, because I don't know, it just hurt me. Anyway, so I put my process up on Snapchat, and I was like, yeah, just bought the bread, just bought the blankets in the bus. And eventually people were making jokes, and they were like, oh yeah, tagging people, oh yeah, you must go join. And I was just ignoring everything, and I was like, no one's here. And eventually when everyone saw my snap that I was actually, in the bus on the way to the city by myself, they were like, wow, you're actually going through with this. And I was like, well, yeah. And I asked my mom, and I said, hey, no disrespect to my mother, because I was last minute asking her for a lift to go to the city, but I asked her, and she was like, can't you just do it on Sunday when you're on your way? And I was like, no, it's not about that. I need to be there for them tonight. I'm not, just because people flaked on me doesn't mean I'm gonna now be like, yeah, I'm not gonna go. And my dad said, oh, just forget the bread and blankets, just go read a book. And I was like, no, these people need me more than I need a book. And so anyway, I went in the bus, met my friend up. We didn't know where to go, so we went to the Auckland City mission, and he helped us, directed us where to go. So we went down Queen Street, and I met this amazing guy, and I gave him we gave him bread and blankets, and the first thing he did was take some money from his hat he had in front of him and gave it to my friend and said, can you please get me some butter? And it wasn't cheese or jam, it was butter. And it was I freaked out, because I thought, oh my god, he's taking our money to ask us for cigarettes, because that's what society kind of tells you. And he asked for butter. So my friend went and got him some butter. So I'm sitting there with him on the floor in the city, and I'm reading his passage in the Bible he underlined. And I'm reading it, and I just looked at him, and he was just staring at the bread, and he was smiling. And he said, can you please carry on reading? And he flipped his Bible to a few pages later, and and he points at another page. So I carried on reading, and I looked at him, and he just sat there with his eyes closed, smiling. So I carried on reading till the next chapter. And when I stopped, he said, wow, this is beautiful. And I just broke, because I thought, wow, who do you talk to during the day? And Jesus, he says Jesus. So I'm like, well, I'm here now. What is on your mind during the day that you'd like to get off to someone? Tell me, And he was like, nothing. How was your day? And I thought that was pretty incredible. And so him and I were talking, and I think he got a bit sad when I maybe might have been asking too many questions, but I stopped, asking him questions, and I said, well, I'm here, and I'm here for you. And I said to him, I was like, what color blanket do you want? I've got black or red. And he was like, well, you choose. And I said, well, I'm going to give you red, because red's the color of love. And he just held it like a teddy bear, he was holding it. And he was like, oh, so soft, And I was like, wow. And then this couple came up to him and gave him McDonald's, and gave him a burger and chips and this iced drink or whatever. And he was like, I'm so thirsty. And he started drinking all of this with the ice, and he was like, oh, I need a spoon. And I just looked at him, I said, no. And he just looked at me quite shocked, and he was like, what? And I was like, no. You're born living on the basics. You go your whole life adapting to life and society and food and Macca's. And I said to him, here you are, just getting this iced drink, and your first concern is a spoon. No. When you need to survive, when you're sitting on these streets, all you got to think about are the basics. And not a spoon, make do with what you've got. And I just kind of got so upset with him, and he was like, oh, yeah, you know what, you're right. I was like, yeah, you know, you hear, save 50 cents a day. And he pointed at his bag, and he smacks his bag, and he's like, yeah, all my savings are in there. It's like, good. And I was like, you don't need to go get 50 cents worth of a spoon, you know, just make do with what you got, just drink it with the straw. So anyway, I pointed at the glass, and he's like, I'm thirsty. So I was like, why don't you go get water? And he's like, no, because then I've got to pack up everything, and it's just, you know, it's really hard. And I was like, oh, give me your glass, I'll go. So I take this empty Macca's cup, and I go to Subway. What a tragedy. But anyway, so I go to Subway, and I'm like, you know, there's this guy outside, please can you fill this with water? So he's like, say no more. Goes, gets me water, take it back to the guy, and he sits there and he's drinking this water like he hasn't had a drink in days. And I'm just sitting there and just like watching him. And I said to him, okay, and I started telling him about my life, and it turns out he's got no family. And he's like, my family's got their own family. And I was like, well, I'm really sorry about that. And under his breath, he's just like, I'm homeless. Like, he had been out there for so long, and it was still quite a shock. And not many people talk to him either. Like, it's nice for him to just ask me questions, you know, and find out about someone else's life. So anyway, so we carried on walking down the street, bumped into another guy. His name was Barry. And I was reading his sign, and he's like, yeah, I got to change it. I was like, nah, leave it. You've got fabulous handwriting. Like, just leave it. So he starts laughing, and I'm like, so do you want bread? Do you want blanket? And he's like, I've actually got a blanket. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then, yeah, like, he had so much confidence, and that struck me, because I was like, wow, like, you're here, but you're confident. And he was amazing, and he turns and he's like, have a safe night. And I'm like, you too. Like, it was just amazing. It was so much concern, you know. And I was like, wow, like, that's great. Carried on walking, bumped into another guy, and just talking to him. And I said to him, I was like, you know, would you like a blanket? And he's like, it's okay, I would love one, but, you know, I don't know. So it's like, take one. So I gave him a blanket, and when I gave him bread, oh my God, his reaction was if he just won an iPad. And I just started crying, because it just hit me how many people might not even go talk to them, how many people don't go help them, and like some strangers giving him a loaf of bread, and it's like, wow, oh my God, this is awesome. And that's what he said to me, and I just gave him the bread, and I was like, have a great night. And I walked off, and I just started crying. And I was like, he was so happy and grateful, and I was like, that's amazing. Yeah, so we carry on walking, and I just look down the road, and I see this guy putting his blanket around his dog, and it was like this black retriever. Oh no, sorry, it was a Labrador cross, I think, retriever. And I run up to him. I'm like, hi, like, here's a blanket. And he just looks at me and he goes, oh, thank you. And he wraps the blanket around his dog, and his dog's going crazy. So he says to his dog, I'm going to take my jacket back now. And I was just like, wow. You know, this dog was so well looked after. It was a chubby dog, and oh my goodness, I love chubby animals. But it was well looked after. And I recently found out that actually so many homeless people can afford accommodation. They just get rejected because they have an animal. And in some countries, homeless people get paid for looking after animals. And in some countries, like I read this article, there's this amazing vet who treats dogs for free, because dogs and homeless people are being rejected into accommodation because they worried about the dog. So, you know, I don't know, I just thought that was so awful. So she treats these dogs for free to make sure that they're healthy and that they can go stay somewhere. So anyway, had a fat chat with him. We offered him bread and he said no. And I was like, you sure? And he was like, yeah. You know, he points at this box and he's like, I've got food. I've got food in here. I've got, you know, someone just gave me a loaf. And I was taken back by that because that was so, I gave him so much respect for that. Like, not having much, but still not being greedy, still not taking it. And I was like, wow. So we ended up just sitting with him and his dog's name was Jessie. And my friend was giving him so much love and attention, and this dog was just like, yeah. So, yeah. That was beautiful. So my friend and I are going to go get a collar for this dog and, like, write Love Brandon and Amber on it and just, like, you know, just something cute. But he actually lost his house to the bank, so he took his dog with him, and he found his dog on Trade Me. So I thought that was really adorable. And yeah, just like the whole night was just bumping into these amazing people, and I was so concerned because everyone was like, oh, be careful of the drug addicts, and like, it's not about the drug addicts. Whether you give a drug addict or someone sober a bread and a blanket, they're still human. They still out there. They still should eat. So that's my story. Like, now we're organizing to go to the city again and hand out like toothbrush and toothpaste and like sanitary stuff, you know, because, you know, like, you don't have much. And the fact that they had blankets and there were 2 other people around handing out bread, and it was just great because, like, I was just worried that no one, like, would be there for them. So that was really great to see. And, like, there was this woman who was just wrapped in like 5 blankets. But yeah, they had nothing and they didn't take. There was a guy I offered a blanket to, and he was like, do you have one? And I was like, of course I've got one. I'm gonna give you one. And he was really cute. Like, he had clothes on, like he was just finishing his work, like construction or something. So I think maybe he was just trying to get on his feet, but not fast, you know. So yeah, but I cannot wait to do it again, and I just hope that all those people who said they were coming with me that didn't, like, can come with me. But sorry for the long video. I just really wanted to share my experience and just get it out there that, you know, if you're gonna do something, don't let other people hold you back. And if you're struggling, your basics are everything. People said to me, why don't you just donate $5 to all of them to get a pizza from like Pizza Hut? And I was like, no, it's about the basics, and people didn't get it. So yeah, but that's my story, and I just hope that it wasn't too long. But yeah, thank you. Thanks for listening.